Assalamu alaikum. In many courtrooms across America, the expression justice delayed is justice denied is displayed on plaques and sculptures. Today, this statement is seared into my heart and mind as I think about the police killing of 25-year-old Freddie Gray, as I think about his family and the resulting pain of the people of Baltimore and the rest of this nation. It has been more than 2 weeks and the local police department has failed to provide a substantive account of how Freddie Gray died from injuries sustained in a brutal assault by Baltimore City police officers. By police accounts, Freddie Gray was driven around for 45 minutes in the back of a police paddy wagon with his spinal cord 80% severed. Gray went into a coma and died a week after sustaining his injuries. This development goes against basic human decency and is totally unacceptable. I hear the words of African American mothers expressing their fear that their sons will be the next Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, or countless other unarmed African American youth slain by police officers across this country. This is the everyday reality for the African American community, and they are rightfully angry, frustrated, and afraid. We should never allow ourselves to be silent in the face of such blatant injustices where people fear the very people who are sworn to protect and to serve them. A global study of adolescents from low-income neighborhoods revealed that 15 to 19-year-olds living in poor areas in Baltimore fare much worse economically and socially than their counterparts in many developing countries generally associated with poverty. African American youth are repeatedly denied opportunities to realize their full potential. We see severe socioeconomic disparity, structural inequality, and racial targeting. We have seen this in Ferguson, in South Carolina, in New York, in Cleveland, in numerous places all across the country. If not for videos put online, we would have been unaware of what atrocities our brothers in humanity endure, and no one would have stood against these crimes. Racism continues to be a problem in our country. There is a problem when law enforcement officers target, profile, and abuse minorities. Police violence is an epidemic, and it only gets worse when compounded with militarization, racial inequality, and poverty. We must all stand up and say, enough is enough. The call for nonviolence by the state as it continuously inflicts violence on its citizens is hollow. While we do not condone the destroying of property or violence against individuals of any kind, we likewise will not attempt to dehumanize protesters who are fed up with targeted police brutality with little or no legal consequences. We value the sanctity of life. We must demand justice. This is our right. While agitating for truth, we must likewise insist on answers to critical questions. As American Muslims, we know firsthand what it feels like to be targeted and criminalized in the name of the war against terror. Local and federal law enforcement targets our community solely because of our faith. American Muslims are now facing unending prejudice and harassment, and it would be a disservice to our community, to the African American community, and to America if we do not stand with those who have been fighting these injustices for centuries. As our annual convention comes closer during the Memorial Day weekend, we are proud to host it in the city of Baltimore, where people of conscience are coming together and rising up to demand justice. We're proud to host it in a city where Americans are standing up to uphold their rights and the rights of all Americans. What happened in Baltimore affects all of us. What happened in Ferguson affects all of us. What happens in any place where there is injustice affects all of us. Justice knows no geographical boundaries. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has said, beware how you treat the oppressed, because there's no barrier between their prayers, their du'as, and the Creator, Allah. There are Muslims in the city of Baltimore who are answering the call of standing up for justice and trying to heal a broken humanity. Many of them have taken to the streets to help clean up the streets after the disturbance of the last few days. We applaud their efforts, and we appeal to Muslims and persons of good conscience to say no more. We will not stand and tolerate any more of this kind of injustice being perpetrated against persons, most of them, if not all of them, unarmed, and their only crime being that they have a certain ethnic or racial background. This is about seeing every American as a human being. This is what we stand for with the Islamic Circle of North America.